Welcome back, and now I'm going to talk about ECW. And the reason for this is for WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, and any other upstart promotion that really has a serious interest in developing a wrestling federation that works, that will stand the test of time, and will also help develop properly. Paul Heyman and ECW is really the best way to start it. ECW was a very small promotion in Philadelphia. Very, very small. Yes, we all know the name Raven and Tommy Dreamer and the Sandman. We all know who they are, the Dudley Boys. Rob Van Dam, Sabu. We all know who they are. But back in the 80s, we wouldn't have. Shane Douglas and all them, we've not have two clues who they were, nor would we care. If you're a wrestling fan today, you know them. But the reason you know them is because Paul Heyman made you know them. Paul Heyman's a lawyer's son. He went and made some business interests and photography and different things, and he made his wrestling league. He got in with the NWA during its pretty much demise and death. Sorry to those that may offend, but NWA is just not a strong thing anymore. It hasn't been for a while, and when it comes to North, ECW is probably the thing that killed it. With Shane Douglas throwing the title in the trash or what have you, and it became Extreme Championship Wrestling. It was small. Most of the wrestlers who believed in Paul Heyman and his product worked in the backstages, promoting, calling stadiums. They worked relentlessly to get the product on the air, to get everything going. That's a big change from a lot of the talent today who think they're movie stars and think just because they're in there and they wrestle for 10 minutes that their work's done. Paul Heyman didn't do everything on his own, nor did he have a huge expense to pay for a huge crew of people to do everything for him. The wrestlers put the ring up, the wrestlers did the promotion, they all worked together. Now it was a family effort, it was a team effort. So TNA and everybody else needs to take a step back and realize you're not WWE. You don't make billions of dollars a year. You don't have people to hire to do this stuff for you. You have to do it yourself. If I'm a wrestler and I'm saying, hey, I'm having a match with Randy Orton tonight, as if that will ever happen. We're not in the WWE, but yet I know we're going to the city of Toronto. I need to do everything I can do in my means to make sure the city of Toronto knows I'm going to be there fighting Randy Orton. And I need to make sure they understand what I'm going to do to Randy, and I got to give them a reason to go. Not just rely on the TV announcer or the federation to do it for me. WWE does good today because their wrestlers are on TV shows and everything else, advertising stuff. And that's what some of these people need to do. Take the lead from ECW. Start talking to people in the street. Start putting their stuff out. Work with the crew. Help to make the expenses that exist to make your wrestling promotion down as low as you can by helping the promoter do it. This way, you make a little bit more money, he saves money, and you get out there. When it comes to wrestling, it's like changing your menu. You can only do the same story, the same feud for so long that you need to move on. ECW did that. Sure, there were times where they brought in people like Scott Hall, Junkyard Dog, Ravishing Rick Rude. I'm trying to think some of the other big names they had, and they had enough of them. They really did. But they didn't keep them around long. Big difference there. They didn't keep them there for years, and that was a big staple of their environment. Terry Funk, I think, was the biggest and the longest, but it's a little different. Terry Funk never headlined for WWE. He wasn't a big superstar. He was somebody that developed and helped create other stars. And that's a big thing, and another thing people need to learn. In wrestling, you need to put yourself over. You need to make yourself look good. But sooner or later, you have to realize as well that by putting somebody else over and by making them look good, you make yourself look good. Bret Hart didn't always necessarily always have the $1 million body, nor was he always remembered by the way that he always looked good. I remember Bret Hart back in the 80s and 90s as a man who very strictly made other wrestlers look good no matter how crappy they were. Even Bill Goldberg looked good with him. So ECW was the example. They busted their butts. They all worked hard. They worked hard out in the ring, and they worked hard out of the ring. They put their names out. They didn't keep wrestlers around forever, especially if they weren't going to be a staple, if they weren't going to be a part of the team or the family. They changed their storylines often enough, and they were fresh. Steve Austin stole his personality and his gimmick from Sandman. A lot of the WCW guys stole their personas, gimmicks, and everything else from ECW. So if you think about it, TNA, WWE needs to look at that seriously, and WWE does. Because they've used ECW in mature professional ways, and it helped both parties. In the end, yes, it did hurt ECW because they did go bankrupt and they were bought out. Yes, that's true. But it was only because they were screwed by Spike TV. If they were not screwed by Spike TV, they'd be still going today, and you'd be still hearing Joey Styles scream, "Oh my God!" You'd be hearing everything if it wasn't for Spike. Maybe they would have never have gone past WWE. We'll never know. But they would have been a serious contender. Hey, if WCW can do it with the NWO for as many years as they did, ECW could do it, and I believe TNA can. I'm not here to pick sides about who's better, WWE or TNA. I'm just saying, for us to have a better product, for me, the fan, to have something better to tune into every Monday or what have you, they need to be more competitive so that we have something better to watch. Because right now, I'm bored. I'll be back next time to talk about WWE.